Hi guys, my name is Dee December, and I just kind of want to do this video because I'm really angry right now, and I needed to clarify some things. And I'm going to call the enemy out for who he is. I'm about to really truly expose the enemy in its whole entirety with this video. And I want you all to share it, repost it every day if you want to, continuously share it over and over again. As you all know, I have a son that has ran away. His name is Parrish Pierce. He's a 15-year-old kid, KID, that I have sole custody of, have been the only mother to him, the only parent to him, since he was about 2 years old. He has a father, because my son is a junior, he has a father that has never been in his life, pop in and out every now and then, but hasn't been in his life in maybe 5 years, maybe. Hasn't paid child support in over 3 years. Haven't seen my kids in over 2 years. So I am the sole provider of Parrish, PJ, and Padaya. So anyway, the purpose of my video is because I got a text message while I was out with my girls from another child that I've once taken in, who is like a son to me as well. And you all probably have seen me posting pictures with him on Facebook. But he asked me, have I seen my son's Parrish post? And I thank you guys for constantly sharing his runaway post, because he's listed with the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, on top of other websites for lost kids and runaway kids. So if you want to go to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, you'll find out. You can call Douglasville Police Department in Georgia, and you will find out. He's a runaway. But anyhow, call Durham County in Durham, North Carolina. He's a runaway. So continue to share the post for me. Long story short, I read this post that's on my son's page that appeared an hour ago. The post has been tagged to 31 people, and so I'm going to read this post, parts of the post, in case you haven't read it. My son said this is not the first time he left. No, he hasn't. Last year, you all probably know from reading my Facebook page, if you follow me, because I do have over 5,000 followers, that last year he ran away for 10 weeks. Where my son was? With Andre Thorpe. Look him up on Facebook. Andre, Andre, Ppmi is the middle name. Thorpe, Thorpe. My son also was with a couple of other people that are close to me that chose not to tell me where he was. However, I didn't know for 10 weeks he was with Andre Thorpe, most of those 10 weeks. In the process, when my son did return on his own in July, he was picked up. The police picked him up because he is listed as a runaway from Georgia, and so they picked him up in North Carolina, and they put him in a YDC until they can get him back to Georgia. I was by his side every day. I was running back and forth to court to get my son back and brought my son home. He was on house arrest, yes, because he was a runaway, and they charged him with running away. On top of being there, take him to therapy, some other things. Let me explain something, and I hate to have to blast it, but I gotta call the enemy out for who he really is. Andre Ppmi Thorpe, that you all call a pastor/prophet, a mind leader, for Pastor Shirley Caesar, and what's her name? I'm sorry, and I'm not talking because I love you to life. Yes, I do. But an apostle of Faith Church in Durham, North Carolina, right down the street from North Carolina Central University. He mimes there and does conferences with her. Let me explain to you guys. Cut yourself loose from him. He's a child molester. How I know? Andre is now on appeal in Durham, North Carolina for indecent liberties with a minor. Someone else that he molested in Durham, and he went on appeal in January. He went to court in January, and he's appealing it because he was found guilty. Yes, Andre the pastor. Also, Andre molested my son when he had him last year for 10 weeks. How I know? When I got my son back, there was a lot of bloody underwear in his suitcases. On top of that, I have a letter. Paris, bring me that real thick purple envelope that's on my computer desk. I have a letter that my own son wrote stating, hold on, give me 1 second. Y'all, excuse me. I said it's a big, thick purple envelope that's on the thing. I have a son that letter that my son wrote because, excuse me, Andre, you was while you had my son, Yes, you was molesting my son. You had him drugged up on a lot of stuff. I didn't know, and I apologize because I trusted you. You was attending the church that I used to go to, which is under Pastor Nathaniel Fuller, whom I also have a lot of respect for. But you was attending his church, and when I first initially met you years ago, when I was married to Dawood, and I met you there, we had no relations because I was dating your cousin before, years ago, when I first moved to North Carolina. So I would have never talked to you, first place. Second of all, Andre Thorpe, you joined my church, His Kingdom Ministries of Durham, North Carolina, and then asked me, can you start teaching my son mine? I allowed you to start picking up my son because I thought you was a prophet/preacher. I let you start picking up my son, and you took it upon yourself to prey on a child who was fatherless and who looked up to you as a father figure, and you started molesting my child before we moved to Georgia. But I didn't know it. Should have known, because you look gay and act gay, so I should have known. However, this letter right here, in my son's handwriting, you see this? In my son's handwriting, clearly states, just so you will know, my son was mad at me and angry, and that's why he was in therapy, because he said, he blamed me. He said, because you were close to Andre, and he fucked me and made me fuck him all the time, but you were close to him. He even made me suck his dick. Now, this is from my son, his handwriting. He wrote this not only to me, but he wrote it for therapy session. Sorry I hate to blast that, PJ, since this is all over your Facebook page. So, yes, I am calling you out. This ain't against my son because I love my baby boy. And let me tell you something, Andre Thorpe. The FBI has been called in. This little post that's on Facebook on my son's page claiming that you've been sleeping in my bed. Negro, I know you put my son up to texting this crap on Facebook. You ain't never been in my bed. I don't date no skinny, tall, fake wannabe pastors that fuck little boys. Get that in your head, first of all. Second of all, this ain't the first time that you lured my son away from me. You did it last year for 10 months. Back in January of this year, you lured my son away again for 24 hours. Negro, that Lurch Leonard that's on Facebook, that's on my son's page, I don't even know that man, but only because my son ran away to his house here overnight for 24 hours back in January. Used Lurch phone to call you, Andre Thorpe. And you know, because he thought you were his dad, he let my son call because he thought that you was his daddy. Because PJ said Andre is my daddy, he's my father. Negro, when Leonard called your phone, my 12-year-old was the one that said, Mama, I know one of PJ's friends. He works right across the street from where we live at. You need to go over there and talk to him. Went to talk to him, and he was like, I've never met you. I'm sorry, Miss Pierce. I didn't know PJ had left the house last night. Yeah, he came to my house. He called his daddy. I used my phone. And I said, can you dial it and put it on speakerphone so I can hear this voice? Because his daddy was locked up at the time, his biological father. So I know he ain't called his biological father back in January. Dialed it, and guess who the heck it was? Andre Thorpe on the phone. Andre was telling Mr. Leonard Lurch, was telling him, which is a man that's in a wheelchair, paralyzed from the waist down. That's who Lurch is. He said, this is what Andre was saying on the phone, on speakerphone. Didn't know I was listening, and my chief apostle, Janice Thomas, was listening to the conversation as well. He was like, keep my son away from from Dee. That we in a custody battle. She's a drug addict and she homeless. Get it straight, Negro. I heard the whole conversation. Thank you, Lord. The police found my son that very same night, and my son was returned to me and my boyfriend at the time. So don't get that twisted. My boyfriend heard the whole conversation as well. And yes, he did buy me a car. Yes, my boyfriend does help me to pay my bills. He's more of a man than any daggone man I have ever married when it comes to finances. Don't get that twisted. Second of all, yes, I said I didn't want my son in my house last month because I was scared. I did say that. because my son swung and hit me and almost broke my thumb. He ripped the tendons in it, and I was in the cast for 2 weeks. And I said he need more therapy than just this, because he was angry about all the crap Andre did, which was molesting my son, getting my son hooked on drugs, having other men have sex with my son. Negro, get it twisted. You ain't no preacher, ain't never was a preacher, ain't never going to be a preacher. And when the FBI catch you, because yes, once again, the FBI been called in. Once the FBI catch you, Negro, you're going down. If you ain't got my son, if you don't know where my son is, why ain't nobody found you? Please explain that to me. Explain to me why your parents ain't seen you, why family ain't seen you, why your girlfriend says she ain't seen you, why your baby mama says she ain't seen you, but you're innocent. Go to Durham County Police Department, then Andre Thorpe, and let them know you don't have my son and you ain't seen my son. Take the lie to take the test. But let me explain, you'll still be a liar. Because I got 4 cell phones from my son that the police done got into and saw text messages back and forth from you and my son. What you have done was took a 50, you're a daggone 30s. You took a 15-year-old fatherless kid, manipulated his mind because he was already having issues with discipline. You ain't never got him in Northern High School, dummy. I'm his mama. You can't do it without a birth certificate and register a child. I'm his mama. As far as paying for my daughter's driver's ed Negro, she paid for it herself because she was working at McDonald's and Andy's. I'm sick of the lies, and I'm clearing it up. I try not to. Everybody telling me, pray about it. Don't let the enemy in. Let God handle it. God gonna handle it, Negro, because you're going down, standing on the word of God, but you're fake. You can't stand on the word of God and be fake. Be real. Yep, I was ordained once as a minister, but what I did was step down because I knew I wasn't right until I got myself back right. But you doing all these mime conferences. You preaching in all these big churches. You walking around doing all this crap. Nigga, you got a 15-year-old kid that you were fucking. So get that straight. Yep, I'm sorry. Y'all can comment and say what you want to say, but you know what? I'm setting the darn record straight. Andre Ppmi Thorpe all over Facebook. You ain't crap. Nigga, I hope you go down. And I pray to God I pray. When your tail go to jail, I hope every man in there fuck the hell out of you like you've been doing my son. As far as my son Parrish Pierce go, I love you. I ain't never gonna stop loving you. I don't care what you say about me or what you do on Facebook. Because let me explain something to you. I'm a damn good mama. I've been taking care of 3 kids by myself. I got a lingerie line. Yeah, I started a GoFundMe account because you know what? This nigga took my son to California, or at least that's what the messenger said on PJ's phone. So yeah, I asked people to go to GoFundMe to help me to go find my son, because I got 8 people out of Georgia willing to load up in a van and do what we got to do to go find my son and get this child molester, fake preacher from my son. They willing to from my son. They willing to take time off of their jobs and stop doing what they're doing to go with me to go out there to find my son before this man kill my son or have other men having sex with him like he did last year. So get it straight, you fake Andre. PJ, I love you. Post whatever you want on Facebook. To all you naysayers out there that's shaking your head and posting crap underneath his comment on Facebook, know the damn facts before you post shit. I'm sorry, I'm mad, and I'm going to keep saying how I feel. Get that right. And as far as everybody else, you ain't doing nothing for me no way. You ain't never been in my life with me and my kids. I ain't talking, I'm sorry, let me take that back. For all of these other family members on his side of the family and Andre's side of the family, y'all ain't never done nothing for me and my kids ever in your life. So you see this? Peace. You already cut out my life anyway. But for everybody else, thank you for the love. Thank you for the support. Y'all better know. Stop following all these fake pastors. I try not to post this. I tried not to. Try not to. And Andre, let me tell you something else. Talk to 2 of your cousins. 2 of your first cousins. They reached out to me. 2 of your first cousins. I already know you molested one of your other little cousins as well. Didn't nobody want to press charges. Only because you were family and they was embarrassed. But I already know you done molested one of your other little cousins. My son, the first time, when he went to the police, when he came home last year, we didn't press charges on that part because PJ was scared to testify against you and he didn't want people to be calling him a faggot and a punk. So that was what saved you. But your little tail was charged with contributing to the delinquency of a minor. You forgot about that. Keep playing with God. Trust, nigga. Everybody coming for you. Y'all keep sharing, keep posting, keep tagging. Do whatever you got to do. We bringing my damn son home where he belongs. If I got to have him locked up in somewhere to get real therapy and real help, that will be done. Because my son was in intense therapy for the child molester. My own son's words that fucked him. My own son's words. Thank you. Sorry. Love you guys. But I had to vent. Stop following these fake pastors. Please stop following Andre Ppmi Thorpe. You know what? Whether people donate to my GoFundMe account to help find you and my son, oh, it will be done anyway. Whether it's by the FBI or whether I got to use my own money or whatever the case may be, you will be found. I would daggone sell everything in my house to make sure that you're found. I will be homeless to make sure you be found. I will sleep on people's couches to make sure you be found. Because you will be exposed. And trust, when we get our day in court, I would be sitting on the front row right behind you where you can feel me breathing on your neck every second of every day until you found guilty. You're fake. You're fake. You ain't no pastor. You're fake. Love you, PJ. See you soon.